January has a very unique energy. After the holidays, after all the noise, the food, the socializing, the spending, there's this sudden urge to start fresh. And for a lot of people, that urge leads right into their wardrobe. And when you open your wardrobe, surprise, you instantly feel overwhelmed and think to yourself, new year, new me, I need to declutter. But the truth might surprise you. Starting the new year by decluttering your wardrobe might just be the worst possible moment to do it. Not because decluttering itself is inherently bad or anything like that, but because January decluttering is usually driven by anxiety and not clarity. And today I want to explain why that matters. What we're not going to talk about in today's video is rules to follow, a capsule wardrobe, or even a set amount of pieces you should own. But instead we're going to focus on understanding why decluttering fails psychologically and what instead creates relief. I'll be the first one to admit that decluttering feels amazing at first. You feel productive, you feel like you have control again, and honestly, it feels like you're getting your life together. And that's for a reason. After the holidays, many of us just feel overstimulated, behind, emotionally full, financially uneasy, and disconnected from ourselves. And our nervous system just craves control. When life just feels chaotic inside, then visible control is the easiest one for the brain to find or create. And let's face it, one of the easiest spots where you can create that visible control is going to be your wardrobe. And because we're prone to believe our brain, you will just think to yourself, if I get rid of enough things, then I will feel less overwhelmed, more in control, or insert the word you use to make yourself feel better. But here's the catch. If we declutter out of anxiety and this need for control, then we're most probably just gonna have regret later down the road. If you want real relief after the holidays, you should absolutely wait, just attacking your wardrobe and trying to declutter everything after the holidays. Give it a few weeks so your nervous system has a chance to calm down, and then you can make better decisions for yourself. And if you need help decluttering your wardrobe, you can watch this video I made some months ago where I walk you through step by step how to declutter like a minimalist. There is another important thing we need to talk about. Most people think that the problem with their wardrobe is that they have too many things. Too many clothes, too much clutter, way too many choices. But if that was true, minimalists would never struggle with what to wear. And we know very well that we do struggle from time to time. The real issue, in my opinion, is not that you own too many things or not enough things for that matter, but that you just don't feel connected to the items that you own. And this feeling of I have nothing to wear is usually something deeper. The root cause could be something like, I don't recognize myself right now. Or even, my life changed, but my wardrobe didn't catch up. Or, I don't know who I'm dressing for anymore. Decluttering just assumes that the problem is external. And in some cases, that might be true. But in a lot of cases, I find that it's actually identity confusion because you just don't know who you are anymore. Honestly, you can solve an identity problem by getting rid of clothes. I'm going to try to link a video here that will give you some useful tips when it comes to finding your identity again. And of course, January has aspirational energy. It's the new year. It's time for change. It's time to get our lives back on track. And all you see on social media is other people's new beginnings. And naturally, you imagine a better version of yourself too, whether that's more polished, more disciplined, more put together, or more productive. When you declutter in January, you're often asking, does this fit who I want to be? Instead of asking, does it fit who I am right now? And that is exactly why you end up decluttering some of the favorite comfort pieces that you have in your wardrobe. Things like your comfort clothes, your old favorites, and pieces that are tied to real life and actually work for you now. Because you get caught up in decluttering for an imaginary self that doesn't exist right now. Only later, usually a few months in, when it's too late to get those back, you realize that you miss those clothes. And you might even rebuy the same or similar items. And then you just feel like you messed up again and blame yourself for it. That cycle is so exhausting, and the only way to get away from it is understanding who you are and what fits your life, which usually involves a plan. If that's something that's interesting for you, let me know in the comments and I'm happy to make a video on that. There is a subtle part of decluttering that is actually pretty hard to catch, but sometimes decluttering isn't about making space for something new. It's simply about feeling discomfort and not being able to sit with it. What we think is, this doesn't suit me anymore, but often what we mean is, I don't know who I am right now, and I have no idea who I want to become next year. And getting rid of your clothes can just become a way to reject past versions of yourself, rush transformation, and avoid sitting with uncertainty. But growth doesn't work by erasing who you were. You don't need to throw away your old self to move forward. Your wardrobe actually holds very valuable information about you and your life if only you choose to see it for yourself. It can help you understand your taste, your favorites, your comfort pieces, and even the pieces you avoid. Try working with that information instead of outright rejecting it, getting rid of pieces you might regret later. You can even try making a list of your most worn items and try to point out the patterns and reasons for why you chose your items and what makes you gravitate towards them in the everyday life. And if you need help, I have a completely free Notion template that walks you through changing your personal style, and it covers everything from understanding what you want to embody to creating your own personalized shopping list. I'll link it in the description for you. We talked about why not to declutter, but what should you do instead? The truth might surprise you, and it's something that I struggle with myself, but sometimes it's not about taking action. It's about pausing and observing. And the best investment you can make in January is to actually wear your clothes again and again and make either digital or physical notes about the patterns you recognize. Here are some prompts that are going to help you understand which pieces you gravitate towards and which ones you avoid and why. First, we should understand what is it that you reach for repeatedly and why. You can think, I like wearing a black tank top because they are comfortable, they're easy to layer on top of, and they just make me feel confident. Then we want to understand what you avoid and why. You can think, the high heels I bought 5 years ago and I still haven't worn them because they look super pretty, but they also give me the worst blisters I've ever encountered in my life. I can't really even walk in them and I have nowhere to wear them for. And then another thing that's really important to understand is what feels real versus performative. Sometimes we hold on to pieces that we bought because it's trendy or it's being saved for a special occasion that actually never comes, or because we think that other people would think that we are cool, stylish, edgy, insert the word you want to use here, and that will make us feel better about ourselves. Try understanding which pieces in your wardrobe might fit this general idea of performative pieces and just put them away for a little bit. If you don't miss them, chances are you're not really wearing them, so they can eventually go when you do your declutter. With this exercise, let your life show you what really works for you and let your nervous system calm down after the holidays, because real understanding comes from listening and observing and not removing. And not to mention that panic decluttering usually just leads to panic shopping, which on my channel we're trying to avoid. Mostly because panic shopping is just another vicious cycle where we remove too many things, we feel scarcity, we panic shop, and then we just sit with our regret of how much money we've spent on things we don't actually like. Slowing down protects both your wardrobe and your finances. And this is your reminder that you don't need to start the year by throwing away half your wardrobe. Sometimes the most powerful thing to do is take inaction and just simply slow down, sit with ourselves, and truly observe. Just because decluttering is all over the internet in this season of the year doesn't mean that you personally need to buy into it. If you really want to take the pressure off, spend this January observing instead of decluttering. And then watch what happens with both your mental health and your wardrobe in February. I hope you learned something useful in this video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And if you like this video, I'm sure you'll love this one too. And I'll see you next time.